Hey! Is the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.
BBN Jack Frost. What's up, party people? How's everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. We have a lot to talk about today, as everybody has already probably found out. Shaquem Parker, who was on trial for the murder of Albert Alpo Martinez, has been found not guilty. I'm going to say this again. Shaquem Parker, who was on trial for the murder of Shaquem Parker, has been found not guilty. So I got a couple of things that I want to say real quick, and then we're going to get into what actually happened the last couple of days, and we're going to go over some of the points or some of the things that was brought up in court. So the first thing I want to say is this in regard to all of this. The prosecution and the defense and the judge, everybody did a really good job. Forget about anything that I'm gonna say. Don't forget about it, obviously. But everything that I'm saying next is not any. I'm not indicting any person at all that was involved of doing something wrong. I'm in no way trying to say, since one side went over the other side, that means that somebody didn't do their job well. I am not saying that. I just want to be clear on this, because we've covered quite a few trials. I think this is the first trial where the person has been found not guilty. And I want y'all to understand that when I'm in court, I am as unbiased as they can be. There is no bias. There's no biases, none at all. I'm reporting to you what's happening in court. We have other people who attempt to do this, and it's hard often to remove your emotions from the conversation. What I mean by that is, we may feel a way about the victim, we may feel a way about the accused, or we may feel a way about what's being described in court. And it's not very easy, or should I say, for some people, it doesn't seem very easy to remove themselves from these situations and just report on the facts. I've only been reporting on the facts. That's one of the reasons why when people come in here and they try to say, they're going to be found guilty or not guilty, I don't really want to answer those questions. After the trial is over, I'll have all of these discussions, just so we can be clear, even if I believe the opposite of what the verdict is. But at the end of the day, if a person is found not guilty, we're not going to treat them like they are guilty. At least not me. You can do whatever you want to do. With that being said, let's do roll call real quick and get to the show. Shout out to Divine Intervention. Says, salute, top of the morning. Salute. Hope everything is going well with you and yours. Top of the morning. Shout out to SC. Says, peace, King. Peace to you, my brother. Hope everything is going well. So, one of the things that I might be doing, and this was something that I had an idea for doing in the previous trials that we were doing, is I might be making independent videos for each day, so I could give a better, especially since this is a situation where many people thought the individual was going to be found guilty. Shaquem Parker was found not guilty. Real quick, before I'm about to tell y'all about the last couple of days real quick, but real quick before we get to that, I made this clear the other day, but I want to reiterate this. So apparently, the other day when it was perceived by me, and I'm going to just say a lot of people in the courtroom, that Shaquem Parker's brother, one of his brothers, not the brother Danny, has stormed out of the court. I don't think it's Danny. I don't think he showed up to court. It was another brother. Had stormed out of the courtroom. I spoke with the brother. The brother said that he was having basically a medical emergency. He might have been eating on something or chewing on something or something, and it caused for him to choke. So that's what he said happened. He's not saying that he stormed out because of what was said in court. He said he just left because he was having a medical emergency at the moment. I mean, that's a possibility, probably what happened. But I do want to acknowledge that the court stopped. Everybody stopped what they were doing. It took us about 5-10 minutes to get back into the process, just so we could be clear. But he's saying he wasn't storming out based on what was said in court. He was just having a medical emergency. I just wanted to clear that up. Anyway, so on day 12, I'm just going to go through a couple of things. This is stuff that I have not told y'all yet. It's short. On day, shout out to No Credit, I guess. And shout out to Florida State Bullies. The judge had denied the defense's request to have the videos played in the courtroom for the jury. I spoke about this yesterday with y'all during lunch break. So basically what happened is that the defense team didn't want the jurists looking at the videos on their own. They preferred for the jury to, whenever they wanted to look at video, for the judge to bring them into the courtroom in order to look at the video, in contrast with allowing for them to look at the video in the back, because I believe the idea was if they watch the video in the court, then they could be given appropriate context to what they're watching. And if they watch it in the back, they won't be able to get the appropriate context, and it could be looked at any old way. I believe that's what the idea was. Shout out to Miss Darcy. Erin Darcy. Shout out to Miss Erin Darcy. I was talking with her the other day. I call her Allie McBill. She had no idea who Allie McBill was. I never watched that show. That show not for me. But I knew who the chick was. Now I'm busy looking like, God dang it. Like, am I that old? Anyway, the jury had requested access to the computer. The jury wanted to watch the compilation video. Once again, one of the things that I had pointed out was the interpretation of the compilation video was going to be very, very important. I think that the defense brought up a great point, just so we can be clear, and that is the video of the actual shooting. You can't tell who's doing the shooting. Y'all could have been following Shaquem Parker with all of those other cameras, but on the camera of the actual video shooting, we can't tell who it is. Now, something that might have hurt the prosecution. The defense, I believe, had showed multiple videos of people outside dressed in similar attire to the jury. So the idea is basically, yes, maybe they followed Shaquem Parker from into his home, but on the video of the shooting, that wasn't him. That was a different guy. Y'all just kept following the wrong individual. Whatever. In any regard, what up, Kyra Knows? In any regard, the jury had requested access to the videos, the compilation video, and other evidence just so we could be clear. Another thing is, I don't think the jury trusted the police evidence much, because it seemed like, I'm going to say something, and this isn't going to work in the future. This is something I don't think that's going to work much in the future with these criminal court case proceedings, and it's something that the prosecution does often. And that is when people get on the stand and it seems like they should have information to something, they say they don't know, right? I don't think that's going to work much anymore. And y'all should blame the Democrats, because this is just my opinion. But I think that nowadays, especially because of a lot of this lawfare that's being done, I think I just look like I lost reception for a second there. I think because a lot of this lawfare that's being done, I think because of a lot of the things that that particular party is doing, it's made people extremely, how do you say, people have lost their faith in police more than before. See, before, the only people that lost faith in the police was niggas in the hood. But now I think just in general, the American public is losing faith in the police. Let me just point something out real quick. The left demonizes the police at all points. This is just factual information. This isn't me. They want the police defunded. They want all of the powers taken away from the police. A ton of things. Hold on one second. I'm having a ton of issues over here, it looks like, with reception. So they want the police, the left wants the police defunded. The left is consistently fighting with the police at places like, out there doing all of this free Gaza. They're doing all of these things that's causing for them to have friction with the police, while at the same time demonizing the police. This is just hasn't been done in America since, just generally something that's done when wars are happening. That's when the Democrats are just usually really pissed off at the police. Let's just be honest with you. So what I believe is going on just in America in general is police officers can't get on the stand anymore and just say, believe me, I know what I'm talking about. They have to actually go in depth. They're not allowed to do that no more. Nobody's catering to that anymore. Nobody's catering to that anymore. Just so we can be clear. It's a done deal. So I think when the police got on the stand, this is just my opinion, and I've seen this in every trial that had police take the stand. When they get on the stand and they're talking to the prosecution, they know all the answers. But when they talk to the defense and the defense asks them questions, they don't know nothing. I just do not think that that's going to work anymore. That might be the sole reason why all of these any other ideas were able to be available that allowed for there to be it made it easier to make a not guilty. Because when the police talk to the prosecution, they know everything. But when the police talk to the freaking defense team, they don't know anything. They know nothing. I'll answer this question right now. I'll answer this comment right now. I gotta erase so much stuff off this computer. I'll answer this right now. So some dude named Versace comes in here and says, Alpo's not dead. That's why it's not guilty. Just a play for Alpo to go back to WITSEC. So you don't think that the government couldn't have just picked Alpo up to come back to WITSEC and just hit him? You think they had to fake his death? You don't think them just killing him wouldn't solve their problem? Anything's possible. Aliens could have came down and got him. That's possible also. We're talking about how probable something is, not whether something is possible. Anything is possible. We're talking about probability, not possibility. It would be so much cheaper if they would have just, one, killed them themselves, right? Because remember, just so we can be clear, remember, it would have been so much cheaper, simpler, easier if they would have just killed them themselves. They wouldn't even need to do it in broad daylight. They could have just killed them themselves. That's one. Two, it would have been so much simpler. Just because I want y'all to understand how absolutely insane this is. And there's people that talk about this on YouTube, and y'all guys go to their page and y'all entertain this. It would have been so much simpler to, one, kill him, to, two, just kidnap him and bring him back to WITSEC. Three, a thing that they actually do. All of these things that I'm saying, the things that they actually do, by the way. Three, just put him in a fucking prison and lock him up in solitary. Or take him to one of those prisons that we don't know about. They exist. Alpo isn't a senator. He's not a president. He's not some person that is famous outside of our community. There's no reason in the world to put hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars behind faking his death. That doesn't make sense. They're going to put hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly millions of dollars, behind faking the death of an ex-drug kingpin. Not somebody who has political secrets. We can't kill him because of the things that he knows. Not a person that has great influence. We can't kill him because of the people that he knows. What happens is people get attached to an idea. And no disrespect, but they're not used to having good ideas. So what happens is they'll get attached to an idea, but they're not used to having good ideas. So now their thing isn't whether that idea is a good idea or not. Their thing is whether could somebody prove I don't know what I'm talking about. If you can't prove I don't know what I'm talking about, then that means that I'm right. So this is niggas' mindsets. You think the government, I want everybody to think about this for one moment. You think the government put hundreds of thousands of dollars, quite possibly millions of dollars behind faking the death of a drug kingpin who has nothing to offer them. Has no connections, and then would literally be better off if they just killed them. And this is why I don't like entertaining those kinds, the certain things. Because there's no way I could talk about certain shit unless I'm insulting the people who's saying it. Because it sounds absolutely insane to me. So I'm not trying to insult anybody. If you're feeling insulted, I don't even want to apologize, to be honest with you. But I'm not trying to insult you. It's not something I'm doing on purpose. You're just saying something that is so completely bananas to me, and it doesn't make sense on so many different levels that I don't know no better way to explain how it don't make sense. I'm going to read some comments real quick. They got pictures of every other body in shooting every other day, but not him by the precinct. No, they have video cam footage of him dying and them doing CPR and everything else on him. That video footage exists. I saw it in court. Also, when they took him to the hospital, you want to know why you couldn't find Albert Martinez in the hospital? Remember when everybody was like, yo, Alpo's still alive because we can't find him in the hospital. He had his name changed. He was in WITSEC. It would have said, did you go to the hospital and look for Abraham Rodriguez? Did y'all go look for Abraham Rodriguez? All of you guys that was like he wasn't in the hospital. Did y'all go look for Abraham Rodriguez? Because that's what was on his driver's license. So that's what the hospital would have wrote down. Did y'all go look for that? All of you so smart people. All of you super intelligent sleuths. So you knew that he was in WITSEC. You knew he was in witness protection. But when you searched his name at the hospital, you searched for Alpo Martinez. Now do you understand what I'm trying to say when I say I don't want to have conversations with guys that say shit like this? Because I don't want to insult them, but I don't know no other way to present the information. I'm not trying to argue, but you're busy saying something that to me is... Let me just put this up there so y'all can see what I'm talking about real quick. They got pictures of everybody and every shooting every day. They showed them in court. So I was in court. Were you in court? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you weren't. I was in court. They showed the pictures. There was an Alpo family member in court. I think that kind of more than one day an Alpo family member showed up. So you think his family is just showing up to court and he alive? His family is just showing up to court every single day. He alive though. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Incognito says they don't know that inmates and PC don't have to go to the WITSEC program if they don't want to and can't leave on their own will. In Alpo's case, he got kicked out of the program. Okay, I'm not sure where you're going with that, but that sounds like it makes sense. It sounds like it's something pertinent for everybody to have seen. They don't know that inmates in PC don't have to go to the WITSEC program if they don't want to. That's a fact. WITSEC is voluntary and can't leave on their own will. In Alpo's case, he got kicked out of the program. Copy. Which would lend to the idea that it would make more sense for them to kill him than fake kill him. Just think about that 1 minute. These dudes think that the government fake killed a kingpin drug dealer. Why? What's in it for the government? I need somebody. Everybody that thinks he was fake killed, could somebody tell me what the government is getting out of this? Just anybody. I'm curious. AP says, white man's justice, black man's grief. Welcome home, Shaquem Parker. Aaron A says, gotta admit, Jack, this whole thing is strange. Yeah. I think a lot of what goes on is strange, just in general. They don't know that inmates in PC decide whether or not they want to enter the WITSEC program and can leave if they want. But in Alpo's case, he got kicked out of the program. I put that up already, right? I'll put it up again just in case somebody want to reread how you reworded that, because the first wording was a little shaky. Next, they'll be saying he's been cloned. Y'all do understand that this is not like a senator. This isn't a president. This isn't even an actor. This is a drug kingpin that y'all think the government is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and quite possibly millions of dollars to fake his death and keep him alive. I don't understand you niggas. I really don't. D. Redan says, I appreciate you covering my little brother trial. To the people hating, he was found not guilty because he didn't do it. Baby boy coming home. Let's go. Appreciate the comment. Question, D, if you're still in here, I've been non-biased, right? I have been unbiased, correct? Ernest Ellington says he got away with it, in my opinion. Hope he changes his life before the same thing happens to him. About a lot of the Cognito said, my comment was in regard to the people who keep saying police faked his death or that they killed him because he left the witness protection program. They sound stupid. I'm agreeing with you, man. I think they sound this is the problem when you're talking to people that don't know what they're talking about. They want you to treat them like they know what they're talking about. You understand? This is everybody get a trophy world. You understand what I'm saying? Like they want you to treat them like they know what they're talking about. Remember, you could bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So a lot of times you know something and you'd be surprised at how often I give people information and they say something like, yo, it's not working for you. I'm being stalked. Don't take something not working for me as you shouldn't do it. All right? I got people on my back trying to hold me down. Don't take something not working for me that it don't work. D says, yes, you handled the case perfectly. Appreciate you. I'm watching from GA. Appreciate you, fam. I'm just out here trying to do the best job that I can do. You understand what I'm saying? So, all right, we're going to go back to some more of the things that happened in court the last day. The judge said that the videos had to go back to the jury because he wanted the jury to be able to look through the video and have communications with one another. If they come out into the courtroom and they're watching the video, they can't talk. But if they're in the back where they're deliberating at and they have the computer back there and they're watching the video, they could discuss with one another how they feel about the video, how they feel about the situation. They could discuss, like, you know, their perception, their position. Whereas if they're in the courtroom, they have to be quiet. Jury can't talk. They also asked at 12:34, the jury had asked for the cell phone, site PowerPoints, but they thought it was a video, but it wasn't a video, it was a PowerPoint. There was a couple of more notes, and then at 1 o'clock, they was found not guilty. He was found not guilty by 1 o'clock. There was a couple of other notes. He was found not guilty. Hold on. I got it in a couple of different books. We got to get some more. We got to get some more equipment, or we got to get some more stuff over here. Let me check into the date this is real quick before I get into it with you. What the heck, fam? Am I missing pages? Yeah, I came back from a different book, so hold on. Gotta go to a different book, and then we're gonna get back to this one. So I want to say something real quick. I guess we'll go to. Let's go find ourselves with Darcy Hall. That was the other judge in the other case. The one thing I did not like when they do in a lot of the other trials that I watched, damn near every other trial that I was at, when they go to examine the witness or whatever the case is, they always say their name and then like say, you know, hello, I'm blase blah, and then they speak. But they didn't do that here. They just went up there and just started shooting. It's kind of crazy. It's different. It is what it is. Any questions? Put it in the chat. Any questions anybody have? Put it in the chat. Any questions anybody has? Put it in the chat. Also, I had a conversation with Aaron, with the attorney Aaron Darcy. I believe her name's Aaron Darcy. I had a conversation with Aaron Darcy and Omar Fortune. And basically, we weren't there during the pretrial motions. So since we weren't there during the pretrial motions, there's a couple of things that we did not know about. There's a couple of things that we did not know about. So the one thing was this. They were not allowed, the defense team was not allowed to talk about, and I'll explain why in 2 seconds. They were not allowed to talk about the history, the criminal history of Alpo. So they weren't allowed because that's prejudicial and it has nothing to do with this trial. The only way they could talk about his criminal history is if they're saying his criminal history has something to do with this particular murder. And that's literally not what the government is saying. The government was saying something totally different. But if the government was saying he was killed because of his criminal history or whatever the case is, I believe then they would have been able to talk about his criminal history. But they were not able to talk about his criminal history because it would have been prejudicial. And the victim is not on trial. So generally speaking, you're just not allowed to do things like that. So they wanted to talk about his criminal history and they couldn't. So when they had that police officer on the stand, I believe it was Alvarez. I'll answer all questions in a moment. Unless it's just a stupid question, then I'm not going to answer it. But if you have a question that you believe to be a halfway decent question, put it in the chat. So when the police, I believe it was Alvarez, took the stand, and also there was a lot of police officers that were saying they had no idea who Alpo Martinez was. Whole lie. A whole lie. And I think that's another reason why the jury probably just did not believe a lot of the testimony of the police. Like I said before, I think that, you know, I just don't think the jury believed the police officers. I just don't think they believed their testimony. I think that when you take the stand and you know everything that the prosecution is talking about, but you know nothing that the defense is talking about, and you're supposed to be a whole police officer, but you know nothing about the criminal activity that's going on in the world, especially somebody who's a famous drug kingpin. It just sounds kind of crazy. So they weren't able to talk about Alpo Martinez's history. I'm assuming that there's people on the jury that already knew. If not all of the people on the jury, at least 3 or 4 people. And they probably was back in the jury room like, it's insane for a police officer not to know. So the police officer also don't know who John Gotti is either, right? The police officer also don't know who Al Capone is, right? Now you understand how this doesn't make sense? So if they're getting up there and they're obviously lying about not knowing who Alpo is, how much more serious could we take the rest of the day? So I personally think it's right there on the bottom of the screen, right where it says smash the like button if you want to send something, Dean Williams. Right there on the bottom of the screen. So just so we could be clear, for a police officer to say that they don't know, all right, that's what it is. I'll call it out when it comes. For a police officer to say that they don't know who Alpo is, I just think that that was hard for some of the individuals in the jury to probably even, like, how do you not know who Alpo is? He's way too famous. All right, I'm gonna read some of these comments. I'm gonna respond to some of these comments. Keep the questions coming. I don't know how well this is gonna work because right now my computer's being really choppy, so I don't know how well this will work. But I'll probably allow somebody to come up here and we could chop it up. I'm obviously gonna need to see who your face is, and also with the understanding that, you know, people troll. So if you come in, you say anything weird or it sounds kind of funny, I just might just kick because I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit. So Incognito says, what's your take on people saying he should do interviews, throw parties, and walk the streets like a hero? I think he should lay low, not get a big head behind and stay away from the interviews. First is this. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him doing an interview. I would love for him to come interview over here. We're talking about Shaquem Parker right now, correct? I would love for him to interview with us. It won't be one of those interviews where I'm mad. I'm mad at Shaquem's. It's not going to be that type of interview. It's just going to be an interview. We'll talk about the trial. We'll talk about, I don't really want to get into it. I don't want to give nobody no ideas of what I would want to talk about with him. But this isn't going to be one of those interviews where I'm not an asshole. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this isn't going to be one of those interviews. It'll be a different type of interview. In any regard. No, I don't think he should throw parties. And no, I don't think he should walk the streets like he's a hero. I want to say something. I need for y'all to be understanding of this. There are people that still believe that he did this. This might not be the coming home party that he might want, that some people might think he deserves, I guess, is the best way to put it. So why should he sue? How can you sue? I need for Ernest Ellington to explain to me why he could sue. That whole comment, that doesn't make no sense. I need for you to explain to me how that makes sense. Can anybody else explain to me how that makes sense? If anybody at all, because I'm not going to give no opinion on this, but if there's anybody, I'm not going to give any, I don't want to give any opinion to his particular question, whatever this is that he's doing. Can anybody explain why that doesn't make any sense? Put it in the chat. Nate says, I'm late, but I got one question. How did the jury, going to the jury? They went to, the jury was out yesterday, the day before yesterday, and today. So they took maybe 4 hours of actual jury time, if that long. Maybe 4 hours. Probably shorter than that. Nate says, exactly. Every NYC officer knows Alpo's name. So that don't make sense. That makes zero sense. Incognito says, to the guy saying sued him, why would he sue? He was originally arrested for a gun charge. They were just doing their job. If they really did it and got off, he should just enjoy his freedom and not sue. I want to, more importantly, I need to understand, I need for somebody to explain to me why suing is even an option. I don't think that makes any sense. So I'm just going to leave that alone because that doesn't make any sense. I need for somebody to explain to me how that makes sense. To me, that just makes no sense. This is another one of those things that people say that in order for me to explain my perspective, I'm going to probably be saying things that some people might think is insults. So I don't want to explain how that doesn't make any sense. I want to know how y'all guys would explain how it doesn't make any sense. Is that fair? Because every time I explain how something don't make sense, people think I'm either being argumentative or I'm insulting somebody. And I'm usually doing neither. I saw some comments from Alpo's people and they weren't pleased, so he should definitely lay low. As much as people are in denial and think everyone hated Alpo, he was a lot of people who loved him. That's a fact. Shout out to Sandy Cheeks. Oh man, made me say that stupid ass name. Shout out to Sandy. No, Mr. Beast. I do not think that Poe is still alive. We've already had this conversation earlier in the show. Explain to me, Mr. Beast. Explain to me how it would make sense for the government to fake Alpo's death and tell me what they could possibly be getting out of it. Mr. B. West. Explain to me why it would make sense for the government to take a drug kingpin, hold on. I'm going to put a question up there for y'all. I hate when it's doing all of this lagging shit. So I'm typing and then the word letters come out so much later. even know if I spelled anything wrong or if I hit a wrong button or nothing. No, this is what I mean. And so I need for somebody to explain to me how it makes sense for the government to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, quite possibly $1,000,000, to fake the death of a drug kingpin who, whether he's alive or whether he's dead, it brings them no value. Shout out to Sandy Cheeks. I love it when they got fucking these dudes coming in here talking crazy, saying shit that don't make no sense. And I got other people in the chat that y'all guys are confronting these stupid ass comments instead of me. I love when y'all do that. Thank you very much. Now I don't have to waste time talking to this idiot. I don't feel no, pardon me for calling him an idiot, but those are idiotic comments. I don't feel no obligation to waste my time confronting these idiotic comments. Sandy says he should definitely stay away from platforms like Vlad. If he decides to do an interview, dudes always get caught up on that show talking too much, and he don't care. He just want the views. So my Vlad don't care. Vlad just want the views. Nate says, no, there isn't any reason for the government to fake Alpo's death. He's not a foreign politician or It doesn't even make sense, man. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. Y'all do know, I want to say something, and this is another reason why it doesn't make sense. Let's say y'all do know what the government do to operatives when they have no more value, right? They just kill them. They just kill them. It makes zero sense for the government to be, I don't know, fuck it. Look, man, y'all want to live in this imaginary world. Y'all live in the imaginary world, fam. I'm not trying to steal it from you. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't trying to steal your imaginary world from you. Y'all want to live in an imaginary world? Keep it up, fam. I'm not trying to steal it from you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to live in this imaginary world, go right ahead with it. Fuck it. In any regard. Any questions? I could see Dean is about to get kicked. Nate says if people had a theory that the government took Alpo out, they would have a better case. If the government actually did take Alpo out, or if the government actually did fake his death, that would be more reason to make sure that dude went to jail. I do understand that, right? I'm going to say something real quick because I'm not trying to call people slow, but some people are slow. And a lot of the niggas that are slow, y'all listen to them and y'all follow everything that they do and y'all run behind them like they know what they talking about. And then when somebody that does know what they talking about come along and say something, y'all just are 100% against it. Just 100% against it. So a person like me, if I tell you something, you're going to not believe me. Not you per se, but certain people are just not going to believe me because they got idiots telling them different. So the thing that I'm saying, they're going to fight against. So then when the shit don't work, then they're going to be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But you never did the thing I told you to do. You did some other shit that has nothing to do with what I was talking about. If you would have just did the thing I told you to do, then we get the win. You just decided to do some other shit because you knew better. So these are the niggas that niggas is dealing with. Niggas that don't, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but niggas that's in over their head. And they out here telling you Alpo's still alive because on the day he was supposed to be in the hospital, they couldn't find his name in the registry. You know he was in WITSEC. He didn't even have an ID that said Alpo Martinez. His ID said Abraham Rodriguez. Did you go look for Abraham Rodriguez? Oh, you didn't, because you didn't know what his other name was supposed to be. So you didn't even know who to go look for. And instead of now just acknowledging, oh shit, we might have fucked up, you're going to go harder. Because that's what slow people do. That's why slow people never learn. If dude gets found guilty, that's better for the government if this is all fake. If Alpo is still alive, it's better for the government. You understand this? Because that closes the case. The case is still open. They only close the case when there's a conviction or somebody admits to the crime. There was no conviction. That means that case is still open. That means that if the government did do something weird, there's still room, pardon me, for somebody to investigate and then find out what it was. This is another reason why I spend a lot of time by myself here. I get tired of almost every conversation I'm having is me trying to explain to somebody that something they don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes I just want to bug out and have fun and just talk about random shit and laugh. I don't want every conversation to be a fucking lesson. Like, that shit is exhausting. Sandy says, he knew who Alpo was. I met a few white dudes out in Ireland who knew who Alpo was. I know NYPD police officer who was an officer for over 20 years who knew who he was. So this is the issue I also have with him saying he don't know who he was. There was another officer that as soon as they figured out that was Alpo out there, immediately called the FBI to try to get information. He has to put that in the DD-5. So even if dude didn't know who Alpo was at the killing, right after they started doing their DD5s 2-3 days, and he knew who Alpo was. That just don't make sense for you to be a police officer in New York City and not know who one of our biggest drug kingpins was. That just doesn't make sense. In my opinion. I don't know. In my opinion. I don't know what to tell you. It just doesn't make sense. In any regard, Nate says, I don't believe the government took Alpo out. I'm just saying that people that believe Alpo is alive, they will have a better chance with that conspiracy. And he's not alive, fam. I saw the autopsy photos. I've seen dead bodies before. He's not alive, fam. I saw the autopsy photo. They showed it in court numerous times. They showed the video of Alpo being taken out of the jury didn't get a chance to see this. So the jury was taken out of the courtroom at one point, and because we had to look at a video, the judge had to look at a video, and they had to decide whether the jury could actually see the video. And some of it was snipped out, and the jury wasn't allowed to see the video. They literally pulled Alpo out of the vehicle and started working on him. And you see them take Alpo out of the video, put him on the floor. You see them doing the chest compression CPR. You see them working on Alpo. You see Alpo in the vehicle like this, laid up, fucked up in the vehicle like this when the dude walks over to the vehicle and opens the door. You see him. You understand? You see the holes in his arm. You see them. Like you see them. They have a witness that was on the scene, that was in the car with him when the shooting started. She almost got shot. She took the stand. These dudes know Alpo is dead. They just playing y'all for fools. That's it. They're somewhere laughing about how y'all niggas think Alpo is still alive, and y'all going all over the internet talking about it. I promise you they are, because I know some of these people that's spreading the stupidness, and they tried to get me to spread some of the stupidness also. Talking about it's the internet, it's all for games. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was like 4 to 5 times. He got shot 3 times in the arm that I know about, because you see the bullet holes in his arm. These people, they're laughing at y'all. Every time y'all come into some chat and talk about how Alpo is still alive, these content creators are laughing at y'all. I'm telling you, because I've been in communication. I used to know these niggas. And they used to call me up on a regular and try to and tell me to report on shit I know to be a lie, and be like, don't worry about it. People are going to watch. It's for content. And they lying to y'all, and they know they lying to y'all. And then they laugh when y'all come places like here and they repeat the lie. They laughing at you. I'm telling you they are. When y'all be going to their page, and they busy having these imaginary conversations, they are laughing at y'all. I'm telling you they are. Because I know some of these people. Why do you think I'm not in their little circle? They think I'm not in their circle. I refuse to do that. And I don't want to be a part of it. And I don't want to be y'all going to make up a lie to come talk to me about it so we can make content. No. I don't want to do that. That's dishonest. So I get it. Some of y'all guys have been completely fooled. Some of y'all have been completely duped. Some of y'all follow people on social media that ain't shit. I get it. Y'all love them niggas though. So what do you mean? What happens to the case now? The case is over. He got found. They got to look for a new suspect. But how can they go look for a new suspect if they put so many eggs into this basket? So Alpo case goes unsolved. Unless somebody finds the gun. Alpo case goes unsolved. The government put all of their eggs into this basket. Even if they try to charge somebody else. Even if they try to charge somebody else, what's going to happen is whoever their attorney is going to bring up somebody else was previously charged for this crime, and y'all say he did it. You had all of this evidence saying that he did it. Now you have all this evidence saying my client did it? How? So when the government loses shit like this, it's a loss. They need big evidence to be able to bring this case back and then charge somebody else. No, somebody walked up to the truck. It was not a drive-by shooting. Whoever it was walked up to the vehicle and started just letting off. Sandy says, I still don't understand why they give someone who got shot chest compressions instead of just rushing them to the hospital. Well, what do you think they should do while they're waiting for the EMS? Chest compressions is because they're trying to keep his lungs pumping. They're trying to keep his lungs going. Why wouldn't you? That's what the chest compressions are for. They don't have a machine there to intubate him to make it so that his lungs keep going. So you do the chest compressions to force lungs and air into his lungs. You get it? Also massaging hearts. There you go. If the person is not breathing or unconscious, there you go. This is great explanation. Great explanation. Sandy says, I personally think they found the right person. He just got lucky and got off. But that's my opinion. I'm pretty sure there's other people that feel that same way. There's people in Harlem that feel that way, I promise you. Jack, do you think the feds will pick the case up and charge the same guy with different charges? What different charges do you think they could charge him with? What different charges do you think they could charge him with? If no one finds the gun, I mean, there's nothing you can do at this point. Give me 1 second. His attorneys, Shaquem Parker's attorney was Aaron Darcy and Omar Fortune, just so we know. The prosecutors were Shanda Strain and Lucy Nicholas, I believe. Explain to me how he can sue Ernest Ellington. Explain to me how he can sue. Just explain it to me. Don't tell me that he is. Tell me the foundation of his lawsuit. Just explain the foundation of his lawsuit. Just do that. Dwayne says, what up, Dwayne says, what I don't understand is nowadays, if you do a crime like that in New York City, there's cameras everywhere. They could track you and backtrack you. A lot of people are probably going to assume that the prosecution did something wrong. No, the ones that believe him to still be guilty, those people are going to assume that the prosecution did something wrong. And I'm telling you, I don't think it had anything to do with the prosecution's case, and I also don't really think it had anything to do with the defense's defense. I think it had almost everything to do with the fact that nowadays, especially in places like New York City, you have liberals who they just refuse that. Well, move back off of the liberals thing for 1 second. You have police officers that get on the stand, and you can tell that they're doing everything they can to please the prosecution and to disrupt the defense. It doesn't sound like honesty. I'm going to say that again. You have police officers that get on the stand, and they're doing everything to help the prosecution, and they're doing everything to be difficult for the defense, and it doesn't come off as honest. Now, you add that to the fact that now the liberals have taken a direct aim at the government, which is wild because they generally only do that when there's a Republican in office. But they're currently doing that with a Democrat in office. They're taking aim at the government. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of the police, quite a few of the police officers that went up there, it just didn't look very honest. They just didn't look honest. They didn't look like they were giving honest testimony. It looked like they were doing everything they can to help the prosecution and to hurt the defense. It didn't look like they were being honest. Just being honest with you. No, tell me something, Nate. Tell me something. Don't tell me you don't know, but there is something. Tell me how the feds can go and do a thing. Don't tell me. I'm not trying to shoot at Nate, but I just want to show y'all something. I asked a pretty good question, right? I'm just going to give y'all the other context. I just want to give y'all context to this. So Nate says, Jack, do you think the feds will pick up the case and charge the same guy with different charges? So I asked him, what are possible, and then he also says, just because these came out basically back to back, the feds have more resources and better prosecutors. So I said, so what is they supposed to charge him with? You know, you can't, it's double jeopardy is a thing, so you can't be charged twice for the same crime. So what are the feds supposed to charge him with? What are they going to charge him with? And look, this is the guy's answer. It's a non-answer. This is a non-answer. That's a non-answer. And these are the people that's telling you they can out-debate me. Not Nate specifically, but this is what the people that be wherever they at on their platforms yelling up and down that they're smarter than me and they can out-debate me. This is how they talk. I asked a pretty simple question. What are they supposed to charge him with? So you don't know what they're supposed to charge him with. You have no idea. There's no statute. There's no nothing that you can say that can make that comment that you made sense. I'm not shooting at you. I'm just explaining this isn't the way debates happen. And this is not helping your whatever the point it is that you're trying to make. Now, is there a thing that you think they can charge him for that you know about? Or are you just talking like Ernest Ellington that keeps saying he should sue? And I keep saying, what is he going to sue the government for? And he hasn't been able to tell us one time what the government could be sued for. He has no idea. He's just saying it. He's just talking. These are the guys. These are the type of people y'all go to page and take their advice. Appreciate you, Lorena. Hey, you was in the court, or you just saying it's a pleasure seeing me in the court? Or were you in the courthouse? They had some pretty women in that courthouse, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Every time I go to court, I'll be like, but I like that type of dress. Like, I don't like the slutty outfit dress. I like the nice dress. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I like. I don't like the slutty shit. That shit doesn't. Because now, if I meet you and you dress like a whole whore, that means that anytime we go, I can't say nothing. I have to just expect that you're gonna dress like a whore everywhere we go. So I am one of the assistants on the defense. Which one? I'm not even going to explain why that's a loaded question that this person cannot answer. At least I don't believe they can answer. Anyway, Incognito says, so they ever find the gun and trace it back? I'm going to call. I got Darcy's number. I'm going to call Darcy today and be like, yo, there's this chick that came and said, like, does she really work for y'all? Or they capping? Anyway, so Incognito says, so if they ever find the gun and trace it back to Shaquem and his brother, could they bring them back and start a new trial? You can't be charged twice for the same crime. That's double jeopardy. They'll be able to charge him for the gun if they can link the gun to him, because you could be charged for a gun, period. And they would possibly, since they didn't try his brother, they could try his brother. I don't know how they'll be able to try him again. Like, I'm asking, like, when I'm saying these shits, I'm asking, like, real serious, honest questions. No, they don't all sue. See what I mean by people just be lying? They all sue when they beat a case if they spent time in jail. See how people just be lying? They just be lying. People always say people that get found not guilty should sue. Getting found not guilty is part of the justice process. If he wasn't mistreated, then there is no reason for him to sue. These people are just liars and they know nothing about the judicial system. What happens is, let me explain something to you, Nate. I'm going to tell you what happens. I don't know if you're one of these particular guys, but I'm going to tell you what happens. These guys are on their platforms having imaginary conversations about shit they don't know nothing about. So what they need to do is they need to come over here, because I'm saying the opposite of what they're saying. So they need to disrupt what I'm talking about or get me to agree with them. They need me to do one or the other. You understand what I'm saying? So they're saying things as usual that don't make any sense. They're conflating somebody being found guilty for a crime that they did not do with somebody being found not guilty of a crime. They're conflating the two. So they're just conflating the two. All right, that's all that's happening. They don't know, they don't understand law. So they see one thing that's happening and they say that's just like that, and it's not. You understand what I'm saying? So they don't understand, they don't know what they're talking about. You understand? They don't have the slightest idea what they're talking about. That's why these dudes is out there trying to read paperwork and all this other shit, that's why they constantly get it wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. Pull what receipts? What the fuck are you talking about? Explain to me what you're talking about, fam, because I'm not doing this. What are you talking about? Pull what receipts? Are you saying that they should pull receipts? Yeah, why not? They should be pulling receipts. Nate is saying that there's different murder counts. So he's saying, I'm assuming what he's saying is he got found not guilty of murder in the second degree. So you think they should charge him for murder in the first degree? It's still the same murder. It's still the same crime. The charge has just changed. Violently, his civil right, violently. I just real quick, I want y'all to understand the person who is about to tell me what not. Right? This person is about to tell me all of the things. It says violently his civil rights. Do you mean violating? I think you mean violating, correct? It happened to Limerick Nelson in the Crown Heights riots, beat the charge, and the feds poked up the case. Okay, so something happened to a dude in the Crown Heights riot situation, which is a totally different type of crime than this one is. So you think that all of the things that happened in the Limerick Nelson case applies here? You see how these dudes are slow? You get it? Do you get it? Explain to me how Shaquem Parker's civil rights was violated, by the way, because you're just so intelligent. Explain to me how Shaquem Parker's civil rights were violated, David Torres. Explain to me. Being arrested for a crime is not violating your civil rights. Giving you a fair and quick trial is not violating your civil rights. So I need to know how his civil rights were violated. Anybody think he's gonna be able to explain how the civil rights was violated? Put it in the chat, because I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be able to explain. I doubt this person even understands the laws regarding civil rights, to be honest with you, just for them to bring that up. Nate says, not including the witnesses, do you believe the state has strong evidence? I believe that the state had pretty good evidence. I believe the state had pretty good evidence. I believe the state had pretty good evidence. I'm over here trying to I'll just go to the other page because it's not letting me just kick these guys. But I believe this state had good evidence, but it's not what I believe in the first place. It's the fuck? It's entirely what the how do you say? It's entirely what the jury believes. What I believe doesn't mean anything. What the fuck does what I believe have to do with anything? What up, Nate? Shout out to Nate with the $10 drop, with the $14 drop. Yeah, what I believe don't have nothing to do with anything. The fuck? You trying to talk about? I'm having all of the issues right now with this shit. Shout out to Nate with the $15 drop. Salute. Definitely appreciate you. Soon enough. So David Torres, explain to me. I'm asking people to explain to me what they're talking about, just so we can be clear. I think that I'm being extremely patient. Incognito says, I do think people be lying in the chat for saying a family of Shaquem, Alpo, or worked on the case. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Incognito. Put me on the game. I'm not sure if I'm reading what you're saying wrong or if I missed the comment previously. Christopher Malley, what are you saying yup to? What are you saying yup to, my brother? I'd like to know. And now look at this guy. I just looked up. Is that Nate? I'm going to make a funny voice. Oh, no, it's Ernest. I just looked up. I'm assuming that's supposed to be it. The U is next to I. I just looked it up. He probably could not sue NYPD. What would he be able to sue the NYPD for? I need an explanation. I know you're saying no now, but why would anybody think he should be able to sue the NYPD? I don't get it. Nate says, on a reliable YouTube channel, not talking about Alpo, Chad Mark said, the feds can charge people who were found not guilty with different charges for the same crime. That's why I asked. Okay, so let's say a person, whenever you commit one crime, right? 9 times out of 10, there's about 5 or 6 other crimes you're committing at the same time. But with this specific crime, if there's no gun found and he's been found not guilty for unaliving of Alpo, there isn't any other crime to attach to him. This isn't like he robbed the bank. There's numerous crimes that you're committing other than just taking the money out of the bank. This isn't like fraud. There's numerous crimes you're committing other than just lying to a person about you, who you are, or taking their money. This is a different situation. You understand? This isn't like sex trafficking. You know, to do that crime, you're committing 10, 12 other crimes all at the same time. Everything does not always apply. That's the issue. Niggas always think everything applies to everything. Everything does not always apply. What other crimes did he commit other than having the actual shooter, besides killing Alpo, whoever the actual shooter was, and having a firearm they were not supposed to have? What other crime could they have committed that you can now charge them for? So unless you find the gun, there's nothing to charge him for. You have to find the gun either in his possession with his fingerprints on it, his DNA or something. And they didn't find I'm assuming that they didn't find any DNA on the cartridges that was left at the scene or fingerprints, because that was never brought up in trial. So what other crime can you charge him for? Incognito said, people are posting on this using the wrong picture of Shaquem, not checking if the information is accurate. That's why I'm glad I find your channel. You careful with your words and what you report. I try to be. I'm not always successful, but we try to succeed more than we fail, right? We try to succeed more than we fail. Not always successful, but we do try to succeed more than we fail. Any more questions at all regarding this case? Any more questions? Put it in the chat. If you are enjoying the conversation this morning, you could always pull up to the Cash App, Super Chat, and or PayPal. They got that one dude that talk about he's going to Cash App us every day. He ain't Cash App us once. No, what I'm saying, Nate, is that I can't think of any other crime, any other charge they would be able to give him, neither. So I'm saying while it might apply in other situations, I don't believe it applies in this one. Is that fair? That's what I'm saying. Just so we can be clear. Where it might apply in other situations, I just don't believe it applies in this one. And I got my mic all the way over here. Were y'all able to hear me well? And I'm hearing he has a bond or bail now. So they think that he's coming home. He's not free yet. He still has a gun charge to beat. Hopefully, Alpo's people don't retaliate when he get out, because even though he was found not guilty, they could still think he did it. Dude might have to leave the city. Dude might have to leave the city, fam. Just being honest with you. All right, I put up a question a little bit earlier. We're going to look at the question right now, and then I'm going to put up another question. So the question is, 47 people voted. The question is, does it make sense that the government fakes Alpo death? 44 people said yes. 44% of the people said yes. 48% of the people said no. 8% said they were just here. 8% said they. I'm busy over here. Like, how does that calculate? It does though. 8% said they just here to see the results. I got a question for everybody that said that it makes sense for the government to fake Alpo's death. If any of y'all can put that in words, I would like to hear. Anyone. Obviously they're not going to be able to put it in words because it doesn't make sense. But anybody that but they can put that in words, please put that in words. I would love to hear how it made sense for the government to fake Alpo's death. I would love to hear it. Put it in words. Why do I feel like I spelled retaliation wrong? Yeah. All right, so the question is, do you think Shaquem Parker should leave Harlem or New York City to avoid a retaliation? The answers are leave Harlem only, leave NYC altogether, doesn't have to go anywhere, and just want to see the results. I want to know what you guys think. Put it in the chat. All right, with that being said, Incognito said, I would leave the city if I could. Nate says it would be safer for him to leave, but if he did, he more likely a street guy and knows how to move around smart. Oh, it would be safer for him to leave, but if he did it, he is more likely a street guy and knows how to move around smart. All right. No response, Jack. I think you right about people laughing at us. Laughing at what? Particular? I'm not sure. We're talking about a couple of different things over here. I'm not sure what you're talking about specifically. I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. None at all. I'm just showing y'all. What the fuck does that mean? What is that? Are you gonna fix that? What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. What does that mean? Sandy says he's not going to leave the city. His family said they're not worried about Outpost people. But shit, I don't underestimate nobody. So one of the things that the prosecution wanted to, the defense wanted people to know about, the prosecution didn't, was that apparently, not allegedly, apparently there was black tar heroin found all along the street where Alpo crashed. And there is a belief that he got back into the drug game. So if he did get back into the drug game, that means that he does have some friends that you don't know what might happen. Yeah, no, Nate, 100%. They laughing at y'all. 100%. I'm telling you they are. I used to do content with these people. Not all of them, but with quite a few of them. And yeah, they're laughing at y'all. I'm telling you they are. They laughing at y'all. They laughing at you. I'm telling you they are. I can't tell you how many times these type of people, a couple of them, specifically a couple of them, had called me up and wanted me to be opposition to something that they wanted to talk about when they knew the thing that they were saying was a lie. And they wanted me to be opposition. And I'm like, so you want me to come talk to you about a thing that you know is a lie? You know it's a lie. This isn't, we're discussing sports and you think one team is better and I think the other team is better. This is, we're talking about people's real lives. This isn't, we're talking about how movies and we're comparing movies. I love to do those things. But we're talking about people's real lives. And you're telling me that you're actively going to want to get on a program with me where you're going to say things that you know are a lie. You're telling me that, you know, I know they're not true. And you want me to have a conversation with you about a thing that you're telling me that you know isn't true. Because there's idiots out there that believe something and you want to take advantage of them. Nah, I'm not a part of that. That's not my content. With all due respect. They laughing at y'all. I'm telling you they are. I'm telling you they are. You don't got to believe me. It is what it is. In any regard, any other questions? Anything else y'all want to talk about involving this case? I'm not in any rush. It's only 10 o'clock. Sandy says, I saw comments from Alpo's people upset about the verdict. So regardless of what people want to believe, he has a lot of people who love him. Everyone didn't hate him. He even has fans, believe it or not. Alpo used to go to Harlem, after he left Witsec. And, he could walk around and don't nobody notice him. And then other times he walk around and there's a whole crowd behind him. So I'm not saying any of these people were willing to take a life for him or anything like that, but I'm saying, yes, there were people that loved him. There were people who admired him. And these are facts. I am not saying I'm one of those people. But I 100% remember growing up. What up, real baby Bob? Salute. I don't know how well this is going to work, but if you want to come up here and chop it up with me. Salute to the Bronx, by the way. Gerard, Walton Avenue, Gerard Avenue, 840, Concourse Village. Got some shit on my fucking tire. The Grand Concourse, 161st Street. Salute. Hope everybody is doing well. That's a fact.
He said, F America.
Hold on, I gotta grab the second. Baby Bob says, Jack, what's up? I spoke to Poe twice before he died about his past. Come up here, fam. I put the link down there if you want to come up here and chop it up for a minute. I don't know how well I gotta get my computer and everything situated. I don't know how well the audio and all that shit is gonna work, but pull up. You already know what it is. Like, you know me, fam. Nate says, Jack, you should make I have plans on making videos about the case, so people can get a better understanding about what's happening. You are correct. What did he say? What did he say? Put it in the chat. And what can you share? That's a better way to put it. What can you share about what he possibly said? What could you share? Copy. How is it that every person that comes in here that knows me personally knows all of these niggas that we talking about? Nobody ever notices that? All of these individuals that come into the chat that personally knows me also personally usually knows these people that we talking about. I grew up with niggas that is in every circle, fam. The niggas I grew up with really were in the street, fam. Really outside. The niggas that been around me, the people that I know, really outside. A lot of these dudes y'all think were really outside, they really weren't outside. They just ugly, dirty niggas. So y'all think they was outside. And some of them just ended up, get locked up, go to jail, whatever the case is. But these dudes weren't really outside. We'll find the case. We'll find the case. But if I'm going to keep reporting on these cases, y'all got to start being more consistent to the Cash App and to the Super Chat, fam. I need more disposable income to run around the city. I'm just telling you what it is. I need disposable income to be running around the city covering these fucking cases. Nate says, Jack, did Alpo finish that documentary where he explained Rich Porter's death? I have no idea. Maybe Baby Bob will know. Maybe Baby Bob will know. Pardon me. He said he spoke with him a couple of times before he passed. Maybe he know. But once again, all of the niggas that know me personally consistently come into our chat and know these niggas that we talking about. That's all I'm saying. Sandy says, what are your feelings about Alpo? Someone got mad at me because I said I don't have anything against him. He didn't do shit to me. I didn't know him or his victims. All right, so in the day and age that I grew up in, Alpo and Rich Porter were celebrities. Now I'm looking for a pen to write down Troy Ray's name. Make sure I don't forget. So when I was growing up, these niggas were famous. Like these niggas was Instagram before Instagram. Influencers. These niggas was influencers, fam. If Alpo and Rich was wearing something, niggas was now that was the thing to wear. I don't know if they had a whip, that was now the whip to have. Like these dudes was it. You understand? Niggas didn't look at them like they were drug dealers polluting the community. People wasn't even looking at it like that. You understand what I'm saying? And not in my generation, not in the generation that came directly after me. I mean, directly before me. You understand? So we didn't look at Alpo as anything negative. These dudes was famous. Like these dudes was feared, loved. I don't really know no way to explain this. When Rich died, niggas was crying. Am I lying, baby Bob? When Rich died, niggas was like, yeah, niggas was losing it. Independent of whatever crimes he's committed, there's still a part of in my heart as me as a person that admire and look up to that man. Because when I was a little kid, when I was young, and every damn relative I had was outside. The stories that I would hear about Alpo and Rich on a regular. These niggas was it. Real low-key shit, the rappers started dressing like them. Baby Bob says it was him and Misa the first time was in Harlem. I was speaking on the effect he had on the generation before his, as myself. I'm 45. He Alpo spoke of he knows his effect and he seemed happy. He told Gully Hey, what up, Aussie Nate? That's who you are. Shout out to Aussie Nate. I didn't know that's the Nate you was. Hold on, I'm gonna go to Baby Bob's comment that goes with this comment, then I'll back up and read the other comments. He told Gully, yeah, I was cool. And Fly Poe used to be in my house in the 80s. Rich Porter daughter is my uncle, real goddaughter. I speak the rich daughter mother currently. Yes, you're speaking the truth. Fam, why all of the niggas I know all of the niggas we be talking about? I'm just saying. These other niggas know these niggas. I'm why nigga? Just fuck it. Real Baby Bob says facts. I remember the day Rich died and I was like 12. Everyone was devastated. It was like, yo, they killed RP. Everybody was devastated. Shoot me the video too, fam, if you can. Shout out to Gully. I'm going to go back up and look at some of these comments real quick. And maybe we'll reach out to Troy Reed. If you should reach out to Troy Reed and tell Troy Reed that BBN is going to be reaching out to him. Maybe we reach out to Troy Reed and see if we can get an interview. That would be dope. Sandy says, I'd say they still celebrities in a sense. We're talking about them over 30 years later. Everybody loves their story. I agree with you. Nate says, yeah, Jack. And Baby Bob says, I have the video. I gave it to Gully. Shoot me the video. I repost it with some with my own commentary over the top of it and give whatever context that I might have to it. Trying to tell you, fam. This is not, and this is the problem. I really don't be in competition with people. I get it. People think that I'm in competition with them, and I get it that people think I'm always trying to one up them. I'm not. I'm just be trying to bond with niggas, and niggas be thinking I'm trying to one up them. So I'm not that level of insecure, I guess. Yeah, Aussie Nate. I remember you, fam. Okay, hold on. This chick is real pretty. I want to know why she's getting a ticket.
I'm recording for my safety. I'm afraid for my life.
She's like super pretty. I think she got a ticket for jumping the turnstile.
NYPD 2, Sarai 0. I'm recording for my safety. I'm afraid for my life.
I think she jumped the turnstile, fam. I think she's getting a ticket because she jumped the turnstile. I'm going to follow her. She's cutie. She got a nice page, too. I'm not really a feet guy, but she got nice feet, too. Should Anyway. Anything else y'all want to discuss? Put it in the I get sidetracked, fam. Anything else y'all want to discuss? Put it in the chat. I will say this though. The defense team, as far as I know, they didn't have anybody in the building that was the defense team, as far as I know, they didn't have anybody in the building that was helping them on their side. See, there's something that these guys don't know about the defense team, and I'm just going to be quiet. I'm not sure why Jay Reed thought this would be disrespectful. I'm going to reread the comment, though. I read it before I put it up, but we're going to put it up and I'm going to read it. I threw that shit before I walked in the door. I mean, no disrespect. We have heard many people speak on Alpo that were in the street life or behind the wall the last 20 to 30 years. It's dope to hear average person's take that actually was there. Thank you for calling me an average person. That's one. I guess that's where you thought the disrespect was. Nope. I would I wish I was square for more of my life than I was. And that's what I'm gonna say. If almost all I know is street niggas, almost all of the niggas I know is street niggas. They've been coming on the program one iteration or another. In one way or another, they've been on the program. Almost everybody I know is street niggas. I just happen to, well, that's not fair. I know a lot of street niggas, but I also know a lot of people who aren't street niggas. It's just some people could swim in both waters. And for a long time, I swim in both waters simultaneously. That's why the individuals that shit on me fuck themselves up. Because now y'all can't even get brands to talk to y'all while I have a whole situation. Oh, let me tell y'all some dope shit. Could I just tell y'all some dope shit real quick that has nothing to do with this case? I just want to say something dope. So, for all you individuals that's trying to figure out a way to badmouth me and try to make the people in my community where I live at hate me, right? For whatever lies they're trying to pass. I'm going to tell you about a real quick story that happened. So apparently, one of the most powerful people in my community, I'm going to say this again. Apparently, one of the most powerful people politically connected, powerful person in our community. I actually saved his girlfriend from being jumped by a mob of people a couple of years ago. I did not know it was his girlfriend. She's just a person that I knew, and I just came over and helped her. So I apparently saved his girlfriend from being jumped with her and her daughter from being jumped. Didn't get nothing out of it. Didn't ask for nothing out of it. Was just doing my godly service. You know, I keep telling y'all out here trying to badmouth a person that people know. So I put my own life safety on the line for one of the most powerful people in our community's girlfriend. I didn't, and I don't even think they were dating at the time, just so we could be clear. They're dating now. So when y'all come to where I live at, and y'all sending these little kids out here to badmouth me and lie on me and do all of this other shit, I have protection. And all y'all doing is making those people look like bad people. So that happened. I just want to throw that out there. Shorty a baddie, I ain't gonna lie. She got picked up for jail hopping the train. I guess this is her second ticket. Them shits is $100 a piece, man. How do I know these niggas? I be knowing all of these niggas. I really be knowing a lot of niggas and shit. And I don't be knowing I be knowing them until but I be knowing them. Anyway, Jay Reed says, Jay, is this the Jay Reed from the Bronx that I used to hoop with? If it is, what park we used to hoop together in? Jay Reed says, don't know the man, but I don't take Alpo as the type of guy who wants to fake his death to live anonymously. No. Absolutely not. The fuck? This guy wouldn't stay in witness protection. What makes you think that they're going to be able to fake his death? That doesn't even make sense. Let me put that up on the screen. Niggas is weirdos, man. They just say anything. You know what I'm saying? They know they lying to y'all. They know they lying to y'all. They know Alpo ain't dead. They just lying to y'all and they laughing at y'all behind the scenes. Fam, I didn't get it. Hold on. Somebody else just sent the video. That could have been you. It could have been your video coming through right now. Yeah, this is your video coming through right now. Hold on. This the video you talking about?
He fucking nutted on my fucking bed. You gonna?
This nigga jerked off on some chick inside of the store. That's bananas. We're not doing that. That's the video you talking about? It was like 6 seconds. Is that the video you talking about? Yeah, that don't make sense. They couldn't keep the guy in witness protection, so he left. He just denied it or whatever the case is. So now they're faking his death so they could put him back in witness protection. Don't make sense, fam. Come on. They just say anything. People just say anything. You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, these people know that they lying to y'all and they laughing at y'all. I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you because I know. I've been in conversations with these people when they was just talking about how stupid everybody is and they'll believe everything. All right. I've been in the conversations with these people when they was trying to get me to help them. When they was trying to get me to help them pull their fast ones over on people, and I just refused because we're not on that type of time, fam. Why do you think they constantly trying to like tell people I'm not a journalist? They need me to do the non-journalistic things that they do so that they could seem like they're journalists. You understand? But I refuse. In any regard, Incognito says, Jay Reed says, I don't think he wanted to change his. Alpo didn't want to be Abraham Rodriguez. He wanted to be Albert Alpo Martinez. Period. That's all he wanted to be. All right. So they killed him to give him a new identity when they could have just not killed him at all and just made him disappear. And then everybody's like, where did Alpo go? Oh, he just never came back. They could have just did that. They didn't have to go through this elaborate kill him thing. They already had a good reason for him to disappear. He's supposed to be in WITSEC. So that's what I mean. This shit don't make no sense. People just say whatever, man. Stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Incognito says, if Poe was popular back then, why all of a sudden now, when people speak on him, they make it seem like he was a nobody? I guess it's because they don't like him no more. I don't know which people you're speaking on. I've heard a lot of people speak on Alpo and still hold him in very high esteem. So I don't know which people you're talking about. We've seen the video of Alpo pulling up in Harlem and everybody crowd around him and want to get photos. So that stuff exists. So I don't know what you're talking about. I need for you to explain what you're talking about and who are these people. Are there people who dislike him? Are there people who he's not popular with? Obviously, but because those people don't find him popular, all of those people who he is popular with don't exist. I'm just trying to understand your logic. That's all. Incognito says, I think I've seen that video before. It's on YouTube, racked up a lot of views. Well, Baby Bob is the one that filmed it. And only 6 seconds came through. Let me message him. I don't know if he's in here with us. Oh, wowzers. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot, whoever took this. She pretty as heck, too. Nice shape. That's my alley. Anyway, Jay Reed says, Reed says, the irony is rich rappers and entertainers wish and long for privacy, while some drug dealers that beat the odds want everybody to recognize them and get hood props. Well, remember a while back, this used to be a big theme in the 90s that all rappers wanted to be drug dealers and all rappers wanted to be gangsters and all gangsters wanted to be drug dealers. Yeah, that doesn't change. Most of these dudes that are, neighborhood gangsters, they want to be popular. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They want to be loved. Who wouldn't want to be loved? The issue is when some of us become known, we don't have the people who want to show us love show up. We have the people who want to attack us show up. And the people that want to show us love, they don't come near us. They stay way off into the distance. So that's why you get a lot of entertainers that just prefer their privacy. They just don't really want to enter, because the people who love them, they don't show up on our doorsteps. The people that love us, they don't come have conversations with us. The people that love us, they don't show up. It's generally speaking, the people that hate us are the people that we, come stay in our face. The people that always want to talk to us, the people that want to have something bad happen to us is generally who we see more of. The people that love what we're doing, they don't show up to support as often as people that hate you show up to try to destroy something, and it's not like that for everybody, but it's like that for a lot of people. So that's why you'll have rappers and celebrities that don't really want to be in the limelight. But nobody pressing the gangsters like that because them niggas don't want to end up a pack. You understand? So that gangsters don't got to worry about niggas coming around and doing weirdo shit to them. Because niggas is scared. But the regular individuals who, if the community embraced them, they would embrace the community. Those are the people that got the problems. Because once I try to show you love, you're going to have all of those people over there that's saying that love is fake. So instead of them acting like normal human beings, what they're going to do is do all of the things that they can to try to get a bad energy out of me or out of whoever. And then once that person you know, gives them the energy that they're asking for, they're gonna say, see, I told you that was a bad person. Just like the individual that you try to give advice to, they do not follow your advice. They do what some of what you say, but they don't really follow your advice. They're just pretending to. And then things go wrong and they say, see, he don't know what he's talking about. But you didn't do the thing I told you to do. And now you got to have a whole conversation with the motherfuckers about them doing some totally different shit that don't got nothing to do with what you said. Facts. People that have no intentions of putting you in harm's way, not transactional love, real love. This is a fact. So the only people like me, some dope shit happened today. I just want to tell y'all. So in my community, and once again, this is a shame. This isn't something that I'm applauding. But in my community, the Caucasian people or the people who aren't black and that live inside of Seagate, I get so much love. And I'm not going to lie to you. It's depressing when I walk outside of where I live and now I'm around individuals that all they want to do is talk shit to me all day. All they got is some negative bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of depressing, fam. And I'm not saying it's depressing because, oh, somebody's saying something negative and you getting sad. No, it's depressing because I'm out here in the world really trying to do shit. And the only people that is going to recognize, realize, and that I'm really trying to do shit is people that's not even a part of our culture. Like my own culture. No. So I can't do anything at all to help my own people. That's depressing. I can't do anything at all to ever try to do anything beneficial to my own community. That is depressing. So the only people I could do anything to benefit or help out is people who not even part of the hip hop culture. But it is what it is because that's what I do for. That's what I do. Even before I monetized it, that's what I do. That's what I've always done my whole life. So, and it's not all people in our community, just so we could be clear. I mean, y'all see it for yourselves. I'll be just doing a live and then I'll have some random person over there yelling out why am I filming them and I'm not even filming them. Y'all see it for yourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Then the person becomes a victim and now all of a sudden they try to have a situation with me. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, there are a lot of people who are people of note or, you know, influencers or whatever. And it's just not in our best interest, man. I don't know no way to put it. Why do you think people like like Speed? Why do you think people like Speed? He's going in other countries. How often do you see Speed in the hood? I'm not saying he don't go to the hood, but how often do you see him in the hood? Where do you usually see him in other countries? Think about it. Our community are traumatized, and you can't help if you don't stay safe and protect yourself. That's a fact. I'm just saying what it is. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. But it's kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little depressing. I walk around like my immediate neighborhood and stuff like that. Everybody say hi to me. Some of these people barely speak English, fam. Like, that's what you got to understand. Some of them barely speak English. They say hi to me, big smile on their face, happy to greet me. I was walking down the block today. I don't know the dude, but he was like super old. He's walking his dog, and he just, just said hi to me first on top of that. So I don't even know the guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know him. So it is what it is. It's what it is. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. I had another question that we put up. Let me see what the what is it doing? Only 4 people voted. Let me give it a second. See if this should catch up. That screen just stuck. Oh yeah, the screen was stuck. Give me 1 second. 34 people voted. It says, do you think Shaquem Parker should leave Harlem or NYC to avoid retaliation? 18% said leave Harlem. 38% said leave New York City altogether. 35% says doesn't have to go anywhere. And 9% said just want to see results. I'm going to leave that up for a little while longer. I don't think the community is traumatized, by the way. I mean, yeah, community is traumatized. But I just think it has more to deal with. I think it's just a us thing. I literally think it's just a us thing. While every other, it seems, race and culture has to have their arguments, differences inside of the culture, inside of their culture. Our culture is one of the only ones that I think is based on destroying one another. I don't really think any other culture is based on destroying each other like the Black culture is. Our culture is based on destroying one another. That's what it is, in my opinion. I don't think any other culture is that on the planet. I think every other culture on the planet is about preserving people, preserving the people that belong to the culture. I think our particular culture is about destroying one another. That's just my opinion. And all people who gravitate to Black people, it seems like they start to be on the same type of time. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think our culture is about destroying one another. I don't know what drowning you're talking about. And I haven't heard anything late about any drownings. Drownings happen out here in Coney Island. I'm not sure what drowning you're talking about. Was talking with somebody the other day, and they brought up how somebody just, I think, recently drowned. Out there in the ocean. But I don't know about it. This is all something that you will have to put me on to. I don't know anything about it. I haven't heard anything about it. I stay away from the ocean. I don't fuck with the ocean. Look at Ernest Ellington blaming the victim. I bet you one of those people that say, well, she didn't wear that, she wouldn't have got raped. You one of those guys, right? Let's not put any of the responsibility on the person who actually committed the crime. Let's put all of the responsibility on the victim and all of the things that they should have did in order to avoid the crime happening to them. I mean, if you Whoever's on Ernest Ellington's type of time, put it in the chat. I want to know who else think whenever something happens to somebody, we should be blaming the victim and not the perpetrator. I know nothing about it. Hold on. Teen sisters. They got swept away by the current. I feel bad. I'll read this article real quick. Article is from Darla Miles. It was July 9th. This article dropped. Today's the 10th. It says, drowning at silly beaches so far this year has already equaled last year's total, and among the victims are two sisters who went for a swim off Coney Island's beach after hours and vanished. They was in the beach. They was out there after hours, apparently. Says the bodies were pulled away from the water just hours later on Friday night, and on Monday, their loved ones spoke out about the tragedy. Says they are not beachgoers at all. They've never been, never. So they didn't know about probably didn't know about the currents. There's this thing that the beach does where the current comes in, right? And then it hits the beach and then it goes back out, and you could get swept out with the current. They were not beachgoers at all. They never been, never, said their father, Muhammad Ahmed Faye. Friday was an exception. Aisha and Zainab, I think, I don't know how to say their names. I'm not Aisha. I think I'm saying that appropriately. Zainab. Zainab. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Muhammad made a game day decision to leave the Bronx to celebrate a cousin's birthday on the beach in Coney Island. When they were young, we would go to Coney Island, but they never swim, never. They even took steps in the water. They don't walk. They were afraid. The father said he was unaware his 17 and 18-year-old daughters had even left the borough. He said on Friday evening around 8 p.m. near Stillwell Avenue, the boardwalk witnesses say the sister was enjoying the ocean and got out during a downpour, but decided to wade back in, even though they were cautioned not to. One of the boys tried to rescue them, but he couldn't. The current was too strong and he couldn't. Ahmed Faye said lifeguards at New York City beaches are only on duty to 6 p.m. each night. After that, heading into the water could be dangerous. It's a tragedy that happened, but they should be careful swimming out there, especially when there are no lifeguards around. That is what we're seeing, not only with the two girls, but with other people. 2 weeks ago, two teenage boys drowned at Reese Beach and Jacob Reese Park while swimming after hours. It's the heat and maybe even the course of going to the beach because they don't have the money, so they come after the lifeguards are gone. You got to pay to go to the beach? I did not know any about this. I guess that other beach you got to pay to go to? I don't know. Homeless people be at this beach all the time. Rip current. Yeah, those things are dangerous. Incognito says, I just want to say something real quick. So shout out to Florida State bullies letting Ernest Ellington realize that nobody agrees with him, who Poe need to show respect to. You probably too young to understand who Poe actually is. Florida State, this is one of those guys that they just cap. So they make, I think this is one of those people that just make live content all day. So they coming in here trying to get, make their content seem like it makes sense. I think that's who that is. You know what I'm saying? I think he's one of those people, just so we could be clear. So don't kill yourself over this. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so no, that doesn't make sense. They always trying to figure out a way to blame the. That's why I be thinking a lot of y'all is abusers. Abusers are the only people that run around trying to figure out how to blame the victim. They're like people that abuse their kids or abuse their wife or some shit, their husband or whoever the hell. Like those are the people, the only people running around trying to figure out how to blame the victim. So yeah, nobody agrees with you. Anyway, at least if they do agree with you, they're gonna have to drop a comment. In any regard, Incognito says, regardless of what someone did in the past, it's not self-defense. No one but God is in a position to take a life. My comment is in response to the guy Ernest says. Nobody agrees with this guy. He's just, he probably makes bullshit content on some page. That's all. But he probably got a big following because whenever you talking crazy like that, you get a big following. It's when you talking sense, people just really don't like you. Most people these days only care about themselves, so they blame the victim because they don't have empathy or sympathy. Agreed, Nate. And back to the young ladies, he said it's called a rip current, the thing that I just described. And the local municipalities are going to charge for everything they can. I would assume it's not free in New York City. I don't think you got to pay when you go to the beach out here, as far as I know. I mean, I don't know. I don't go to the beach. It's coarse. It gets everywhere. I don't go to the beach. I told that joke the other day on the elevator, and the lawyer I was shooting it at, by the way, she's married though, but the lawyer that I was shooting the joke at, she laughed. So that was kind of dope. And then it was like two guys. There was like a ton of people in the elevator. So the lawyer laughed, and like a couple of other people laughed, but there was like other people in the elevator, and they didn't get the joke apparently. Long story. I can't even tell y'all what I was just doing. I should not be ashamed of myself. She's not even in the dudes, fam. I don't know if she's in the dudes. I think she might be in the dudes. Anything else y'all want to talk about, put it in the chat. I'm not in no rush, but if we don't have nothing to talk about, I'm about to go eat lunch. And then I got a ton of things that I got to do today. And I'm going to go get to a couple of them. I have a big thing that I might be coming up that I could have been doing for like the last 2 or 3 years, and I just wasn't. And I think I didn't understand. But now I get it and I understand. I ain't Seagate, I get it. All right? I get it. We gonna bring it. And I 100% got the right backing. And I think I had the right backing before, just so we could be clear. But I think I just didn't understand. I understand now. All right. And I'm gonna go get some people. I'm gonna go talk to some people today that's gonna help me bring this thing. That obviously there are a lot of people in Seagate that would like to happen out here. Right. So All right, I'm gonna call it a wrap. We will be having another live later today. I enjoyed this live. We will be having another live later today. We're gonna call it a wrap right now because I want to go run out and go do a couple of things. That's the only reason. And I need to go have a couple of conversations with a couple of people. And this might be the best time to go talk to them during lunch hour. So we will be having another live later. We will be talking about this. I will don't want to promise y'all anything at the moment, but we will be coming back later, and I'm gonna work on this computer so we could try to get the shit working all the way right. And anything else y'all guys want to talk about, real quick, throw it in the chat, and I'll try to shoot through it as quickly as possible. I give y'all a minute. Also, let's go look at this poll real quick. And shout out to Nate for this super chat. Shout out to Nate. Definitely appreciate you, Nate. Shout out to Nate for the super chat. If anybody else would like to show their appreciation, for what we've been doing, you could always pull up to the super chat, the Cash App, or the PayPal. I'm trying to scroll up so I could put the super chat into the chat, but I can't find it. I'm not gonna be able to find it. I need better internet over here, some shit. Nah, these dudes just say all types of different crazy stuff. You said, right, who would he be showing respect to? These dudes just say crazy stuff. They don't know what the fuck they talking about. They just say anything, fam. They don't be knowing nothing. They just say anything. You know, they just say anything. You got to understand, and this is the most difficult thing. You know, some people, they're insecure about their intelligence. So you can't tell them nothing. And anytime they're wrong about something, they're going to double down. They're going to want to argue, be argumentative because they don't know. And instead of them wanting to learn, they're going to take that as you got to be insulting them or you're doing something to them or some weirdo shit. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when you winning, and it's a shame, this is a shameful thing I'm going to say, but that's why in order to win, often you want to help somebody, but you just can't because they're not going to do the thing that's going to allow for you to be able to help them, and they will drag you down. Just so we could be clear. So, it's a thing. All right. I'm going to let y'all go. Everybody have a blessed day. Go out there in the world. Do something worth doing. Hold on. We didn't finish the thing yet. Hold on. I ain't finished the thing yet. Shout out to whoever this is that be hitting the laughing button because I am like literally never over on this side, so I don't never see it. What the fuck is this? These are a whole bunch of other comments that I didn't get a chance to see. Let me see. No, I'm not looking up Limerick Nelson. Why would I do that? That don't apply to the situation. Shaquem Parker. Do you think Shaquem Parker should leave Harlem? I'm gonna assume everybody that's gonna vote has voted. Do you think Shaquem Parker should leave Harlem or NYC to avoid retaliation? Doesn't have to go anywhere, 39%. Leave New York City altogether, 32%. Leave Harlem only, 18%. And 9% says just want to see the results. All right, with that being said, yeah, look, I love y'all. Everybody, please go out there in the world, have a beautiful day. Go do some stuff worth doing. Stamp God's name on it. We need more activists for good out there in the world. We need more activists for good out there in the world. We don't have enough people actively trying to do good shit in the world. Everybody is just like, how does this benefits me? I do a lot of free work. I want to say something. I do a lot of free work, right? And what I mean by free work is I do a lot of work where I do up until the point where I have to get paid, right? And then we get to the point where money is supposed to exchange hands and it doesn't. So therefore, I leave you with all of the free information I've given or whatever it is, right? I leave you with it. It is what it is. I do a lot of free work. There's work that isn't as free, but I do a lot of free work. So I say a lot to say this. When it's time to go, it's time to go. When it's time to do the thing, it's time to do the thing. I'm trying to say this without in the most least non-insulting manner. If I can't think of a way, then I'm not. If you cannot follow direction well, if you want to be the boss, then you need to start your own whatever it is. Whatever it is. So if you can't follow direction, and if it hurts you in your heart to admit that somebody else is your boss, then you need to just do it on your own. This isn't me shooting at nobody. This is just me just saying a thing. That's a factual thing. You need to do it all the way on your own. Completely. You need to do it on your own. With that being said, I love y'all. Everybody go out into the world, do something worth doing, stamp God's name on it. Let everybody know that you're coming in the name of God. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. That's all I got on this one.